Father, Yah, in the name of your Son, Yeshua, we want to give you all honor, glory, and praise, Abba, and to lift you up on this Kodesh day, Yah. First, we want to pray and ask that if there be anything in us, Yah, any sin, any secret thing, Abba, Yah, that you cleanse us of it now. We pray and ask for the forgiveness of our sins, our iniquities, our transgressions, anything, Yah, anything that has separated us from you on this Shabbat, Abba. We want to come to you and humbly ask that you please sit in the midst of us, Abba, with your Son, as we sing praise and worship unto you, Yah. If anybody's going through anything, Abba, here in this assembly, Abba, Yah, I pray that during this time of praise and worship that you'll reach down your hand and meet them where they are, Abba, and heal them, their hearts, Abba, Yah, heal their minds, and let them know and feel your tangible presence, Yah. Abba, we love you with all our strength, with all our mights, with all our souls. Without you, we are nothing. We wouldn't want to be anything, Yah. Abba, we love you with what you've given us to love you, Abba, Yah. And we pray that you'll increase that and stretch it out, Yah, so that we can glorify you every day, all day long. Don't let us sit at this place, Yah. When we get down on our knees, when we praise you, Abba, don't let us rise up and be the same. Let us be a new people in you, Yah. Let us be able to be a light unto the Gentiles. Let us be a light unto our family members, Abba, Yah. Let us be a light unto one another. Abba, right now we just want to give you all honor and glory and praise. Be with us now in our praise and worship. Be with us when we're learning a lesson, Yah. And let that lesson penetrate us and change us so that we walk through it and we manifest the things that we learn, Abba, Yah. Thank you for your grace and your mercy. Thank you for your hedge of protection over us. Thank you, Yah, that you didn't leave us as some of the people in the world are. That you came for us, Abba, Yah. But you didn't come for us just to be selfish, for us to be selfish. You came with a mission. You came so that we had a mission, Abba, Yah. Thank you because you use us all, Abba. We don't see it. We don't realize it. But every single last one of us are used by you. And we are so grateful to you, Yah. Thank you for all that you do for us, Abba, Yah. Please be magnified. Please be glorified in the name of Yeshua. Yes. You are worthy of all praise, Abba. There's nobody like you, Yah. No. Thank you for your grace and mercy, Yah. Thank you. Yes, thank you for cleansing us of unrighteousness, Yah. Yes, all praises belong to you, Yah. In your sovereign Son's name, Yah. There's nobody like you, Yah. Thank you so much for what you've done for us, Abba. Thank you in the name of your Son, Yeshua, Yah. Be glorified and be magnified in the name of your Son, Yeshua. Thank you for the Ruach who walks with us and never leaves us alone. Thank you that you've made a way for us through it all, Yah. We appreciate you. We thank you and we honor you, Yah. In the name of Yeshua we pray. Amen. Praise you, Lord.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Y'all better praise him. Hallelujah. All right, this is the time that we're going to praise and worship the Most High in spirit and in truth. Just want to take time to enter in with Him and to just, ask Him to inhabit the praises of His people. That some of us didn't have to be here today, and somebody didn't wake up this morning. They don't have the opportunity to walk with the Most High and to be able to sing praises and give thanks for Him even allowing us to be able to have a mouth that can speak. So let's not waste this opportunity. Let's get into praise and worship of the Most High. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Salvation, with long life.
so that we can praise Him. Oh, hallelujah.
Holy, 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 holy.
Hallelujah.
You have
More 8.
Alright. Y'all see the title?
Yeah.
Duty of a man? Yeah, it's gonna be getting pretty real up in here. But it's basic, so. You know, that's all it is. It ain't nothing that's gonna be too serious. I really want the Yaladeens to be involved in this. You know, just to understand the basics. You know. If I could ask you, like, on top of anything, I'll start with Texas, because he's real boisterous. Texas, what would you say the duty of a man is?
It's to take care of their family and trust in Yah.
Does everybody agree with that? Anybody disagree with what he says?
It's hard, though.
Okay, go ahead.
It's we give manners to fear Yah and to keep His commandments and love Him. Well, he said the right
Yeah, he
thing.
said-
It's just there's a whole lot more that goes into it.
Yeah, he said it was broad. What he gave was real broad.
It was basic.
But it was I was basic. I really like it.
It was basic, it was broad, and yes, there's a lot more to do with that. It's a foundation.
Yep.
You know, that's basically what we're gonna do. Basically, this is what we're gonna do is go over the basics part of it. I'm gonna stop saying it. Sorry. Let's go ahead and jump into our mantra. And 1, 2, 3, we are
Learning to walk through obedience to the Torah together, building our and Amba from the Ab to the Yah, in Ruach Yeshua ben Yahuwah.
We can say it without looking at the screen.
George. That's the only person I know. Anybody else?
Yeah, anybody else outside do it. I know George. We saw it.
Yes, y'all can, right? You can say it without looking at it. Ain't nobody gonna challenge you. We just know you can. That's it. There's no point trying to challenge people today. What we're trying to do is trying to get into this. So what do we learn as far as growing up? Does anybody, like, as far as worldly thinking of what it takes to be a man? Or if you're not a man because you don't do blah, blah, blah. What?
You're not a man because you don't know how to change a light bulb. You're not a man because you don't cut the grass.
Okay, I just need one.
Oh.
Anybody else? You ready to go in,
List them all.
What else? You're not a man because you don't do something. Anything else?
Because you don't work.
Because you don't work.
You're not a man because you may not get along with women.
You're not a man.
Yeah, the world.
The
Yeah.
world, we're talking about the world.
And it's true.
Yeah, we're talking about the world.
But
You know, like a wife, whatever, or like a girlfriend, and let's say you don't want her going to the club, whatever. Some people would say, a real man wouldn't be bothered if his girl's at a club or something like that.
yeah, they say that. Like real players get chose type of mentality.
Take care of the kids.
No, we're gonna take care of you.
Yeah, even the world deal with that. Definitely the legal system. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. Yeah, that's basically what we pertain to, is trying to get out of that mind frame of, you're not a man because, or you're less of a man, or you're weak because you're crying. I know people that in prison systems, you sneeze. I remember there was a couple of guys that I was around, they just got out of prison, and some guy sneezed, and I said, bless you to him. And he was like, oh, soft ass nigga. Like, what?
How you say yeah?
I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to be nice, I open up the door for a lady, and then I hear jerk. You pervert. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
I'm not even looking at you, man. I'm trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. If you take care of someone, or you're trying to help someone out, They're like, oh, well, you ain't, a real man wouldn't do something like that. A real man can stand outside in like 2,000 degree weather and be able to do it work or something like that. If you're inside, you're not a real man when you're working inside. You hear stuff like that all the time. Those are just the Western mind frames what we have. What we try to do is try to make sure that we are changing that. You know? Somebody, you can't be, it seems like what's been put on men is like you have to do something or provide, well, yeah, you do have to provide. So let's get ahead of myself, but you have to do a certain act in order to be a man. You know, you have to be a certain kind of muscular bound. When some women think of, and some men think of as far as like their father or a man that they know as like a superhero. Somebody's like a protector, right? That's what I would think of. You're not a man because you didn't protect me when this certain person said something about me. Or you're not a man because you didn't stand up or you didn't honk at that guy on the road who cut you off. That's being less than a man.
That's being emotional.
It's being emotional.
And then not to be offensive to any of our Ishas or the other Akodis, yeah. That is a feminine emotion. If you're as a man, if your first reaction is to react in some emotional manner, that's not going to set you up for the long run.
Will Smith.
That's good.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
You didn't even cough.
All right.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, Texas, can you read this for me real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Nah.
Look at you. What you read?
Today we will jump into the information pertaining to some basics of what the duty of man.
So I'm talking about.
Makes up the duty.
There you go. Protection. Provision. Anybody know what provision is?
Yeah, to provide and work.
Provide. Can't hear you.
Provide shelter, right?
Giving something that is needed to another person. So, protection, provision, and most of all, direction. You can't be a true leader if you don't know where you're going. Right? Nobody's not going to follow a blind man into traffic. I'm just saying. I mean, you'd be a fool too, but some people do. Alright? First and foremost, a man is to fear El Elyon, like Coach just said, and keep the commandments. That's the first and foremost. You gotta have a healthy.
Like this.
Alright. So Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Yes, you got it? I see you with your phone out, you're talking. Go ahead. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. No, I already read that. See, you ain't paying attention. I see what you're doing. Let's get it. There it is, I got to pull this up. I was waiting on it. I didn't, can you speak up?
Say it with your outside voice. You got it.
The conclusion of the whole matter, fear Elohim and all his commandments, this is the whole duty of man.
The whole duty. The whole duty.
Oh, that's it.
All right then, you can go ahead and wrap it up. That's it.
That's what she got to do.
Protection. Let's go into it. The action of protecting or a state of being protected. So you think of man like me and my aunt, we was talking about the highest grossing, what is it, movies?
Yeah, the highest grossing movies.
Let's go to 2021. Somebody Google that up for me. The highest grossing movies, like top 5 movies, is 2021.
Yeah, well, let me ask you the question as y'all getting there. Do y'all think it was a drama? I think it was a the drama? That was the highest grossing movie in 2021? Any dramas, any, what other genres they got out there?
I would say like action.
We got action.
Spider-Man. No Way Home.
You got Spider-Man, you got what else?
Yeah. Spider-Man.
I got you.
Action, it's action movie. You got Spider-Man, you got what else?
Shang-Chi.
Uh-huh.
And then Venom was, and then Black Widow.
All of these are what?
Action superhero
movies, right? Like a protector. That's what you have. It's crazy. Again, a person or thing that prevents someone or something from suffering harm or injury. Again, a superhero. A legal form, a legal or other formal measure intended to preserve the civil liberties and rights. So in the understanding of protection, we always know that it's in the form like a superhero. So we look at like almost a man is like a superhero. We got Superman, Aquaman. What's another man that we got? Batman, Spider-Man, Iron Man. Yeah, my favorite Meteor Man.
Of course. Yeah.
Black Man.
Meteor Man.
Don't worry about it. So yeah, I remember Black Man. But all they know is that it's all people they look at is protection.
Yeah.
You know, that was it. Those were our superheroes, right? So as we look at that, it's almost like that's what as a man you're supposed to emulate. You're supposed to be this protector, right? Because the Most High is our protector. Let's go. Protection. Defense.
Yeah, at this point, keep going. See, pay attention to the interesting words that we're looking at when we deal with the word protector, right? See? We got defense, we got shield, but shielding, right? We got all of these words because when you type protect, I believe, into a blue letter, you're not gonna come up with anything. The only word I think you'll come up with is protection. And even in that definition, it's like so far down the line of what the word protection is, you know. So I just wanted to point that out. So since we're dealing with shield, that's the next Hebrew word that we're dealing with. Is Magan.
Magan? Shield. Magan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Y'all see the definition? It says a shield, the small one or buckler, right? Figuratively, a protector. Also the scaly hide of the crocodile. Armed, buckler, defense, ruler, scale, shield. Yeah, we picked that word. I believe we picked that word is because it's one of the first verses that deals with a shield. I don't think we pulled it up, but yeah, if you type that in, that H number is H4043. I think it's we'll get into the verse a little bit later, but that's the reason why I think we pulled it.
Keep in mind the shield.
Yeah.
We always, the scripture that tells us how the Most High is our shield.
He is.
He's our protector. At all times.
That's also the name of the people that's supposed to protect in all those Avenger movies. It's the company is called S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes. Yeah. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
But that's what you kind of want to emulate as a man. You want to be that shield. You want to stand up. You want to make sure you protect your family. That's also what you want to do is protect your family, your friends, those who you love. You don't want any harm to come to them.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think it would be safe. I mean, I can't speak for any woman, but I'm just saying you wouldn't feel safe if you felt like your man wasn't going to be able to do those things to protect you, to hold you, to be able to shield you from whatever comes around, right? You know, I'm just me. I don't know. Maybe some people like that. Let's see. All right, Matt, read that for me real loud.
Men are to be shielded for their family, which is a high protector, which is a warrior of the Most High.
Keep going.
Yet we see examples of men being men of war in the scriptures.
Do we? Do we see examples of that? plenty of examples of being a man of war. Not even just on the aspect of being a man of war as far as on a physical level, but also on a
Spiritual level.
right,
Like
right.
Daniel.
Exactly.
Do prayers. Yeah.
Y'all understand that though when we talk about men being the shield of their family?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
No, I mean, you can go into that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. It's important that because the man is, of course, obviously there's order to this, y'all, right? We got Hamashiach, we got the father, right, Hamashiach, then we got man, right, and then of course, the woman and the children. But it's interesting that when the Most High uses people in war, he uses men to be in war. That's what, and it's interesting. We kind of talking about this outside with the men. A lot of countries out there, they don't have females in the military. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that. We do, and that's just where our country is. But even in ancient times, that's not to say that women were. We can read Exodus 1 and see that like women stepped up. We ain't taking that part away, of course, obviously. So when we talking about when it comes to war, it's men that do that. Men of war doing that. Okay, so it's important to understand that I believe that the shield, if you're gonna be a shield, that's gonna be the man. That's gonna be the man. That's the shield for their family, for their nuclear family. That's what we're looking at here. And then what you end up essentially having is a bunch of shields that would be in an assembly. You get what I'm saying? Okay.
Does anybody not get what he's saying?
Like on 300, like when you watch the movie 300, right? Like they put up those shields. We actually talked about this, not last Shabbat, but the Shabbat before, right? We talked about war tactics, right? And how they put the shield up and it's always in sync, right?
Yep.
So they have like one mind and one body, and they have one person, and or each person is shielded. It's not just like one shield, one person shielding the whole city. It's a bunch of shields protecting the women and the children.
That's why I like that they had crocodile skin in there.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, that was a click moment for me. I was like,
scales, layers.
There's layers, many shields.
That's right.
All right, so there's no one person.
What I was gonna say is that I was reading a book, right, and it said that in like the winter time, whenever like an oxen is trying, or a bunch of oxen, like a group of oxen, is trying to protect themselves from a bunch of wolves, they get into like a circular wall and they all just sit there and wait for the wolves to try, like a shield, I guess.
That's good. That's good. Even animals shield themselves. Elephants, I think elephants do the same thing, right? That's pretty much they do is they do a protection. They all go around the little ones and keep the little ones inside. And they run around. And they make sure that they kind of like wait for any other predator that's trying to come around and like pushing them away.
Yeah, because if the elephant pushes you, that's a wrap.
That's it.
If he kicks you, if his trunk hits you, like even lions. If you taking it as big as that trunk is, if it swings and hits you, it's over. If y'all seen videos of people getting hit by trucks, man, they are hilarious. If they live, if they live.
All right. Hello.
Yeah, it's back. That's because I don't know.
I thought you were calling him or her.
I call my love? No.
I thought you were saying
No. We just talked about the nucleus.
Nucleus, yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay. And Shaul said to David, you are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Shaul, your servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Your servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defied the armies of the living Elohim.
Alright. So as we see this, he says he is a what? A man of war from his youth.
Even if you're talking about that Philistine, right? Whatever. You want to talk about the Philistine, cool. But what did Dawid come back with? Oh, you say you just talking, right? Let me tell you what I done done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Killed how many?
Right. Go ahead.
This ain't nothing.
Go ahead, man.
Nothing.
Taking them bears out. Since your way, taking them bears out.
Yeah.
It's something like David being strong. Like his mind was already prepared. Like if you already go into a battle, into a ring, this is why they tell people don't get yourself psyched out, because automatically you already lost.
Boom.
Mentally. You know what I'm saying? As a man, if we go and we take upon a family, or we have a wife, we can't just say when anything comes our way that we can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again, bro.
It's true. I don't even remember what I just said.
Man.
You know, but y'all rewatch this over here. Yeah, what was that? It's true though, because as being a youngin' when I was younger, I used to think, all right, I would think just like I had a conversation with this young man, and he was telling me he wasn't prepared for the next chapter of his life. And I used to think the same thing. I used to be nervous because I never knew what was going to come afterwards. High school, the military, I'll go to college, and I'm like, well, what's the next step? I got married, what's the next step? I don't know. And I was like, but I had to sit down and really strategically map out my direction and where I'm going. Because you can't just walk around and just, be in la la land, you know what I'm saying? Thinking that everything's going to just be handed to you, or somebody's going to tell you which way to go, and then what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and argue with that direction because you don't even have a direction of your own. You understand? All right. Let me read this. Do we see the Most High speaking about our men not being men of war and prophecy?
Yeah. I can think of one. Is when we were taken to the land the first time, and we were, taking it within a week. Yahuwah said, like, if you take this land in Canaan with all these giants, you roll with me, I'm paraphrasing, you'll have it. They said, no, we'd rather partake in more scenery of the desert. So it was like, at that point, Yahuwah made that decision, like, okay, I'm going to kill everybody here except for the children. Pretty much. That's what it came down to. He had to get rid of the first generation that was free from slavery. So the next generation knew that, okay, when Yahuwah says go, he says you go. No matter what your tools you have at your disposal, because he'll give them to you, man.
That's facts. That's facts. All right. Uzi, can you read for me?
For behold, Adonai, Yahuwah, Shalom, takes away from Jerusalem and from Yehuda the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable.
Alright? So we kind of see this like right now.
That's right.
Still. Like if you look at like your favorite well before, I don't know if there's one now that anybody can talk about, but does anybody have like a favorite black TV show? Everybody jump up. Not now, right?
Yeah, no.
Right. It's been taken away.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you got
I see what you're saying.
Trash. So it's been taken away, right?
Yeah.
So what we did have is kind of being diluted. If I ask somebody like, do they have a favorite K-drama show? They'd be like, yeah, oh yeah, I know. Other nations instead of your own.
Yeah, like it used to be Bill Cosby. They tore that down.
Yeah, we had a
We had a bunch.
They took them away.
Family Matters, Moesha, which
Everybody, there was no mom only.
Yeah, no, it was a mom and dad, Family Matters, you know, there was always the Bernie Mac show.
We had shows.
We had shows. Everybody hates Chris.
Yeah, that's what
And then when you have movies, if you think of like if you say strong black movies, what movies did we have?
Slave movies.
A lot of slave movies.
There you go.
A ton. Or the movies like Justice Society. Yeah. Boys in the Hood.
They'll have like one or two moments in there that they'll give you like a message.
Yeah.
He said that perfectly.
Training Day has to do with all of us almost being like either the villain or we're the what? We're
just lost. They don't pick us with a head in the family. Like they'll give themselves Beavis and Beaver, but like where's Tyrone's dad? It's just him and Big Mama like that.
Yeah. Or you have something to where you have like losing Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? You got stuff like that.
Where other nations are like basically saving you from like it's like nobody from your community. Yeah, nobody from your community is helping you, so they come in and they save you. So then therefore that's what we look. We look to that.
It's almost always for us to be creative. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't have a creative moment within our own community because we're automatically lost already up here. We're defeated. Like nobody's gonna watch that. Nobody wants to care about that. That's how we're defeated in that. We can't have somebody that's positive. It's not a strong role model. You don't have those things that are being projected on TV because it's already showing us if it was projected on there, then we would strive to be strong. We would be. But we're not going to be that way because what they want to do is they want to keep us enslaved in our minds and keep us separated.
Yeah, like even on the movie Friday, right? Which I'm sure most people have seen. The first one, the dad, he was trying to instill good qualities in his son. Like he was telling him, like we laugh about it, but he was telling him, get a job. Like you have to have a job. He was telling him, stop eating all the food and not contributing. Like he was telling him like all that stuff. Even at the end when he wanted to like shoot the guy, he told him, nah, put the gun down, you can fight with your hands because then you can live, you know, like
fight another day.
Right. So it was like even if it's a goofy movie, they try to like slip that in there, but it's so clouded with all the other stuff that a lot of people don't. You don't remember those moments.
You forget it.
Yeah, you don't remember those moments unless you've seen that movie like over and over and over again. Yeah.
That gun don't make you man.
That's right. That's what he told me.
That's good.
If you don't have weapons.
Yeah, if you don't have a gun,
man.
you're not a man.
You're not a man if you ain't got weapons. You don't know how to shoot correctly. You're not a man.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna go that route, right? How many millionaires and billionaires are there that ain't got to worry about carrying no guns? But guess what? They got you. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as protection goes, it's a click of a button.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a little button.
That's it.
And I think what they do also for our young men from an early age, they get frightened the heck out of you. They call us with the police, and you walk down the street and the police pull you over. That's trauma. So I think a lot of young black men go through a lot of trauma early on, and that's to cause them to where they have that platform over them to where they can mold them into mold them with fear.
I know certain, you're absolutely right, because I know certain women that growing up, they would threaten their children with the police. You know, sit down and eat before I call the police. You act up in school, I'm gonna call them to come take you away. Like certain things like that would traumatize a child to being already afraid as soon as they see the police. You know, it's a child that ain't got no kind of record. And why they so scared and shook? You tell them to do something, they be like, I ain't. But as soon as that cop come around, they'll do whatever that law says. Why? What is so much of fear that has been instilled in our children that they don't even have that fear for you?
The show Bad Boys. With cops. Cops, the show Cops.
The stuff that you used to, you know, it exposes. You know
Yeah.
Yeah, and you hitting on it, Sharman. There's Dr. Wesley Muhammad has spoke on this one time. He talked about how whenever we see cops or anybody really of the other nations shoot us down, kill us, when we see that online or on TV, whatever, when we see the video, it decreases our or increases our estrogen, which is effective. It decreases our testosterone. It's done like that on purpose. So every time that we watch one, and it's crazy because we want to be informed, right?
Yeah.
Want to be informed on what's going on, and you want to kind of see how the situation got to wherever it was, you know, instead of just reading about it. But yeah, even if you watch it, every time you're getting a hit of estrogen every time. And it's just a part of it. Like you said, the cops, when we see them, we immediately start becoming effeminized almost to a degree, because it's just, we start getting scared. Like it's set up like that.
I really don't. That's why the Edomite cops, they look at me, they're like, what's wrong with you? Because like I was talking to one yesterday about HB, I'm like, yeah, you know, trying to chop it up. And he just looks at me like well, whatever. But like, my dad taught me that when I was a kid, when I was a Yaladim. He was like, look, if you get in trouble and you're lost somewhere, go to a cop. That's what he taught me. He didn't say, hey, and then I talked to my dad a few months ago about something about cops, and you know, that's when George Floyd stuff broke out. You know, this is back when George Floyd stuff broke out. And he was like, oh yeah, I always drive speed, I ain't trying to, I'm like, they go like that. If they catch me or whatever, I know how to talk to my cop down. Like, I talk colonels down. I do stuff in the military sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I probably should have been court-martialed. But like, it's not that big a deal.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. The difference is that most people don't have that eloquency of speech. Most of us don't. And you have the Most High on your side, bro. Yeah. Like, you ain't got your NWC. We call it your ninja wake-up call. You've not received that, you know. And the Most High may be protecting you. You know what I'm saying?
My second day with the Cadillac, I did get pulled over driving while black.
Yeah, but I'm talking. You know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
You know, where you get your, you know, what happened? Let me ask you that.
What happened
when you got pulled over?
He read my plate. Like, he read my template that the dealership gives you. But the template was 2 days old. It didn't expire until like mid-March. And I got the car like early, like mid-February. And so he's like, oh wow, you know, I just pulled you over to make sure that the car wasn't stolen. I'm thinking, now, you guys told me that like that's not a valid reason because I didn't know. So what I did was I just used my military background and chopped it up. He was like, oh yeah, man, I just got the car yesterday. I just got back from Kuwait. He was like, where in Kuwait? So he started grilling me like I'm gonna just say Kuwait, you know, like not know where the heck I was at. I was like, okay, so I had to land in Saline, I went to a smaller base called Algeria. I was like, oh. Yeah. And so I chopped it up with him a little bit more. He even gave me a recommendation about where not to, you know, get an apartment at. I was still looking for an apartment at the time. But yeah, don't really go over here because I'm always having to head over here. I was like, cool, thanks. But that was after about 5 to 10 minutes. He saw my military de-escalate the situation. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that if you didn't have that military background, and you just had like a quick trip background, that you know, I'm a supervisor at Quick Trip. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. But I'm just saying.
None whatsoever.
If you had that, do you believe that conversation still would have went the same?
If I still had the same life experiences that my father gave me, that Yahuwah bestowed upon me by giving me a father figure. If I still had that, yeah. Because like I was pulled over once in Missouri. And I call it misery. And I was literally going the speed limit. And I don't even think I had insurance. Like, I don't think it had registered. I think it had just expired and I forgot to renew it. And I was like, he's like, do you know how fast you were going? I'm in the Geo Metro. I was like, no, sir, I did not realize. And he just looked at me like, just slow down and let me go. So, I mean, the Most High, like you said, the Most High, all my life.
But the big thing is you have a man in your life.
Yeah, that was something critical. Yeah.
Taught you not to be scared.
Yeah.
You know what? You do get scared when you're driving, because in the past, when I would get pulled over, I didn't get a ticket because they would see my signal and know that I was calling law enforcement. So I didn't get one. But with this last time, when I left, you know, my Jeep was just filled up to the thing, and I was going like 20 miles to the speed. I mean, I was really going fast. I should have went to jail, and I had a gun in my car. So I'm going to tell you, I did become frightened. And I called my husband and put him up, Ray, you know, if I die, such and such and such, but I wanted him to hear the conversation. It's the truth. I
It's
did
true.
because, and he
You
came
want
to the
protection.
office
You
and
need
was like,
protection.
why were you going so fast? And I laughed and I said, I really don't have an excuse. So I was just speeding, you know, because I was a speeder. But I learned a valuable lesson that day, y'all, and I don't speed anymore. I was really afraid. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been afraid because I always, you know, I've never got tickets in the past. But I got a ticket. But I mean, I was afraid with the gun in my car. I was afraid with all that stuff in my car. And I called my husband. These are things that never in all my life that I did before. But I find myself doing it now.
Yeah, man, we've been oppressed like crazy. I mean, that's that, I would say curses that was put upon us from our forefathers. But then we have this scripture right here that speaks out about how it was already taken away. The eloquent orator, So with that, that's what, an intelligent person?
Yeah, well, when it's broken down, yeah.
Yeah, when it's broken down,
it's an intelligent person.
right?
That's all they meant.
So when you have that, but it was said, and I will give the children to their princes, and the babes shall rule over them. So it's going to be the generation, as we look at our family, right? And you see that beforehand, your like my mother or my father, with them, they don't have as much knowledge as we have pertaining to scriptures and knowing about them. And I'm pretty sure that these Yaladins are going to be the same. They're going to know and have the same thing as well. They're going to know a lot more. You know, that's the hope, right?
Right.
That's the hope that we have. But that's also prophesizing that is what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the next one. Continue on with it. Go ahead.
Oh, when a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, you have clothing, be you our ruler, and let this ruin be under your hand.
My bad.
In that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be a healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people, for Jerusalem is ruined, and Yehuda is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against El Yahweh, to provoke the eyes of his glory.
Interesting, right? He's gonna take people, the next generation who are like babes, and us, who normally are the kind of people where we're like, we look up to our former generations, right? And I still do, but that don't necessarily mean. Well, let me ask you a question. Does that mean now that like if they talking about you ain't gotta do the feast days, you ain't gotta do Shabbat? Does that mean you start following that?
No.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we can like break things down in these scriptures. You know what I'm saying, to our older generations.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And then it's like it's saying, hey, all right, you know what we're gonna tell our brothers or whoever from the old generation. Man, hey, you can take the house and you can be a ruler over your house. They're gonna say, no, from your hand, they're gonna say no. And that day, he'll swear, he'll say, I ain't gonna be a healer. I'm not gonna be somebody who prays to the Most High and he asked for healing in my house. I ain't gonna do that. And then he gonna say, cause in my house there's neither bread nor clothing. So don't make me no ruler, man, of my people. I mean, you're the former generation. You know what I'm saying? I'm the babe. We are the babes. We ain't trying to. At least it's the interpretation that I get
That's
from.
what I get out of that as well. When he says neither bread or clothing, what is the duty of a man? Which is
Boom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That right there tells you clearly that he doesn't even want. I don't even want to be the man in this situation, like at all.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
I don't want to do that. Now, that's deep. That's deep. All right. Anything else on that one? Anybody? Let's move. All right. Do we see the Most High removing those men of our enemies? Well, let's see. All right. Yirmiyahu, can you read this for me?
I bet you get sick of that next. I want to be sick. When we pull up Jeremiah, we ask Jeremiah.
I saw the name pop up.
It's on me.
Have a whole book named.
And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of Yahuwah shall be performed against Babel, to make the land of Babel a desolation without an inhabitant. The mighty men of Babel have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might has failed. They became as women. They have burned their dwelling places. Her bars are broken. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babel that his city is taken at one end, and that the passages are stopped. And the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are frightened. For thus says Yahuwah Sabaoth, the Elohai of Yeshurun.
Man, what sticks out to anybody on this one?
They became as women. Because we see that today, big time.
So it's gonna get flipped.
Effeminate.
It's gonna get flipped.
Feminine spirit.
Women acting like men.
I mean, it's kind of like
and men
that.
acting like women. It's called. There's that pastor that taught about it and he died. Remember that pastor?
Oh, you're talking about Darby?
Yeah, and he taught about the spirit, the feminine spirit and the masculine spirit, and how now women are acting on the masculine spirit and men are acting on the feminine spirit. And it was pretty interesting to see that. And so it's part of like examining ourselves. And making sure like when I'm doing this or that, or when I'm talking like this or that, am I under a masculine spirit, as a woman, talking to my husband a certain way, or saying no, being rebellious, because we know that being rebellious is the spirit of witchcraft. So, I mean,
appreciate the question. Because, we're going to get into the woman later, but appreciate the question. Yeah, hey,
I mean, I think that King and I were talking about this because all of that Kevin Samuel stuff was going on, right? And everybody's been on YouTube and on Facebook. And we kind of talked about how the Willie Lynch syndrome has really done a number on our people. But if we look at this right here in Jeremiah, like this is something that's perpetual. Like it didn't start with Willie Lynch. He just perfected it. So now we have women that have been made to care for children on their own. So they carry this masculine spirit because they're now the protector. You go to mama, ask mama, everything, right? You go to your mom for everything nowadays, And the men, because of all the buck breaking and all that stuff that they did, and all the bucks and the men how they used our men, that it was taught to them just to plant the seed and move on. You don't care for that child doesn't belong to you, that belongs to the slave master. So now you have it's essentially an effeminate spirit of just being like, I don't have to do that. Like that's not part of my duty. I'm not here to take care of the child or here to take care of the wife, because the wife doesn't belong to me. The child doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the system, per se. And the woman is now supposed to be taking care of the child, but still, again, using essentially the system. So it just flips the roles and makes you have to, well, you don't have to, but some use that as a survival.
Yeah.
You know.
Women are in constant survival mode, and that doesn't allow them to be feminine.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So even if they get a guy that they exactly want, who is the provider, who is, a black belt in some sort of martial art, he, military, he has killed several men in battle. Like, you probably not gonna get no better dude than, but
as far as a protector, than that. So you ain't gotta do all of this extra.
Right.
But she's been in survival mode for
this whole time.
10 to 15 years of her life.
Come on.
And so she doesn't know how to just let go and trust in that the man that she's from.
Right.
True. But women gotta take responsibility too. Women want the system more than they want a man.
Yeah.
And that's just keep it real.
I would say,
but that's been the breakdown. Like if you live in public housing, like in project, say you have a man in your life, like your boyfriend or whatever. If he goes to jail, he can't move back. He can't move in with you in your apartment in the project for us to get kicked out. He doesn't have to do anything wrong there. But so now she has a choice. Do I stay here where I'm protected from the government and my kids, or do I take my man back and have him in my life? So they don't choose the system every time.
That's what Babylon is set up.
So when did that start?
Back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh yes, sir.
It was the Civil Rights Act, where they actually they started to take away, they started to break apart the family.
Right.
And get the benefits. If you're not married, if you're not in the home, then you get the government.
And that even cranks up even more so. So he's putting people away even more and more with the 3 strikes and you're out in the 90s, right? So then that was just separating them even more to help them. And the only thing that I would say that contributed even more was your social outlet, was the music. The news, the movies. Again, going back to where you don't see families that are together anymore, raising up. You don't see a strong man that's in the household who's teaching his children and trying to sit there and show them values, or trying to sit there and show like what it's like to make sure that to show you what I'm doing is like a father in the household, giving you words of endearment, making sure that I'm lifting you up, making sure that you see that I'm doing the most that I can to tenfold. We have the wife and the husband working together. You know what I'm saying? To tackle a situation with a child, or tackle a situation when it comes to issues in the household. You know, that's the thing that makes you strong, because when the children see 2 people that are working together that love each other, and they're doing it not just for themselves, but they're doing it for you. It's different. You know what I'm saying? That's just something on me, but it can be different for somebody else. All right, let's go.
There's a little bit more left to go on that verse.
All right, who was reading?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So.
And the daughter of Babel is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babel, has devoured me. He has crushed me. He has made me an husk. He has swallowed me up like a dragon. He has filled his belly with my delicates. He has cast me out.
Does the Bible speak of importance of a man that provides?
Yes.
Does the Most High provide for us?
Yes.
Yes. So I would think it would be important to make sure that as men we're following after Yeshua, because he was saying that man does not live off of bread alone, that we would be able to provide for our families, right?
From the garden, it was provided.
Provisions.
Kind of.
Read that out for me.
Oh, okay. Yes, provision. It's the action of providing or supplying something for use. An amount, second definition, an amount or thing supplied or provided. Supply with food, drink, equipment, especially for a journey. Set aside an amount in an organization's account for known liability.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it wrong for a mother to provide, to say to her daughter that your man should be providing for the household?
No.
No.
Yeah, but we all get that.
Yeah, we get that.
Even from a modern standpoint, we get that. Traditionally, that's never changed.
I remember my wife had, she started a friend, but her mother used to be like, girl, y'all messing with the wrong kind of niggas. Y'all messing with niggas. Y'all need to get a nigga with 401k, with some good insurance.
Yeah, man.
And she used to go off and say, y'all don't even have a man who's making this one. He needs to be making 6 figures and above.
I don't know about 6 figures.
Oh, okay.
But just I don't know about that. You're pushing too far. But no. But she did used to tell us, because going back to what Ori said, you had her and my mom were single mothers. Who my mom did her very best, but ended in divorce because my dad didn't want to do right. So you have a situation where now this woman is having to work 2 jobs to take care of her 2 daughters, and so now she's going to teach those 2 daughters. No longer is the standard to, because her mindset was dad was going to provide at first. Husband provides, he's going to do that. But nah, I'm saying because her and my mom, this you know who, and my mom were friends, and so they taught us that together because they were 2 single moms having to lean on each other because there was no man in the situation. Her man wasn't there, and my mom's man wasn't there. So you had 2 women that were teaching their daughters to not have to be in a situation like them because they're during their poverty, having to work 2 jobs, and you don't even get to see your children. You don't get to be there for them because you're playing dual roles. So that was the reason behind her saying that, is because she used to tell us all the time, I just don't want y'all to struggle. Like I don't want y'all to struggle like how me and Wanda struggle. She used to say that all the time to us. So there was a heart behind it. It might have came out wrong because she was saying the N-word and stuff. But like what she was saying was for a purpose, because she just didn't want us to be, they used to tell us all the time, don't be dependent upon a man. You need to have a nest egg. Always have something set aside just in case he leaves you, because this is the mindset. Like, just in case.
Right, but the thing is, like, even a man with a 401k and insurance can leave you.
Of course.
So the thing is, like, he needs to love the Most High.
Of course.
That's what he needs to love. At the end of the day, any single people here, and you're young too, y'all need to choose somebody that loves the Most High. Because if they love the Most High, they will do right by you. They will not leave you. They will provide you. Everything will fall into place.
I'm glad you jumped in on that, because that's basically where I was going, is your choices in life.
Yes.
Y'all, your choices in life are huge. Now, I understand what you're talking about, because what essentially you have is these aunties that's tell you to do a thing, but it's like, well, what is your moral foundation?
Right.
That's the thing. It's like, if you're gonna go out here just to go grab you one, well, then you're gonna end up with what you're gonna end up with.
Oh yeah. And you're gonna share it.
Ain't nothing wrong with somebody named Pookie and Ray Ray, but you end up with the Pookie and Ray Ray.
No,
you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the situation.
No, you are.
So you can get that. It's like going to get like for men, I would say like a haircut, right? You can go and get it says places where you'll go to and it says $5 haircut. Or you can go to a place where it's you know, it's $30.
But it's good.
You gonna get what you ask for.
That's right.
You know, you can try to get something quick because you're like, oh, you know, it's cool, it's right here. So, you know, this is more convenient. It doesn't have a long line. I don't have to worry. I ain't got to do too much. I just jump in. They said under 5 minutes. That's what it's going to look like.
That's exactly.
It's the epitome of, because I mean, I only can speak from my mother, but because she was in the church and she was raised right. But the choice that she made and the choice that her parents allowed. Like my grandparents gave her to my father, right? He was a hard worker at one point. But the problem is that, and this is it, you cannot expect that the heart that you have for the Most High is going to transfer over to another person. Just because his mama love the Most High, doesn't mean that he essentially is going to do it. But you think because you come from a good family, he comes from a good family, you're going to just come together. But if he doesn't have that love, like you said, because the script says that you never see the righteous begging for bread. So if he's righteous and he takes care of you, you won't never be in poverty. But if he doesn't have that heart, no matter how much you might have it's unequally yoked.
That's why there should be a diligent inquisition.
There you go.
You better look, you better ask all the questions you gotta ask beforehand.
One-on-one question.
Yeah, for real.
That's kind of like how I did with my daughter's boyfriend. You all know him.
Yeah.
He asked for her hand in marriage, and you know, as a father who's been given that provision to my daughter, she's seeing how a man should be. I told him no. You know, because he needed to. This is what you're gonna have to do as a man and as a husband if you want to take on my daughter.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
You didn't say nothing like you didn't make it impossible for him. You said, look, here's the thing.
But I said my daughter's been living at what her father has provided for her.
Right.
She don't need to drop back down. So if you want to continue providing, you love my daughter, you want to continue, you know, now we know where their hearts are, but she going to have some insurance, you know. She going to have, you know, you going to be ready to take on those responsibilities.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and that's where I think us as men teaching our sons and, you know, watching over our daughters and making sure they go the right way.
Right.
You know.
But that's biblical though. You know?
It is.
That's biblical.
The father
Yeah, exactly. It is going back to the, you know, because I dealt with a situation, I ain't saying no, where I had dealt with a friend who ended up saying that, like, he wasn't doing right. He had a baby out of wedlock with his woman now. But what he did to repent from that, he ended up marrying the woman to make it right with, you know, having a baby out of wedlock. That was his idea of repentance. And I was waiting, and that was it. And I was like, well, according to Numbers 30, what you're supposed to be doing is going back to that father.
Yeah.
And then working out whatever it is you gotta work out, because even though she may not necessarily be there, that's or whoever was her you know, the person that she sees as her father, whoever that father figure. I don't care if it was an uncle that was still giving her you know, advice. You need to go back because the uncle still loves that person, loves that niece. You know what I'm saying? To be like, well, are you doing this, and this? Because it's somebody that took the time to invest in her. You get what I'm saying? So that's good. The person went back. You know, he's going back and he's making sure he's got it good with you. That is biblical, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So make sure of provision. Let's jump back on course. We only got a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I know we're going. Yeah.
That was good.
Uh-oh. We ain't knew that was gonna be in Hebrew.
We didn't know that was gonna be exactly. What is that? Cool?
That's it.
It's cool.
That's provide. That is provide in Hebrew. So you know what? You were cool all day. You feel me? No, so I couldn't help it. All right. I'll read it out real quick because I know it's smaller. Yeah, I know it's smaller. Unless you can see it from here.
Alright. Coon. A primitive root properly to be erect, stand perpendicular, hence to set up in a great variety of applications, whether literal or figurative, certain, confirm, direct, faithfulness, fashion, fast and firm, be fitted, be fixed, framed, be neat, ordain, order, perfect, preparation, prepare, provide, make provision, ready, right.
That's cool. That's right. Go ahead.
All of that. Very deep.
Terry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Be stable.
Yeah, very deed to tarry the right. So whenever they say Khan or Coon,
H 3559.
isn't that something? That's opposite.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, that you know. That's hey.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be caping for every time something negatively happens to you, you shouldn't be caping for that. You should see what's supposed to be right. That's why this is some of the stuff I gotta do when I deal with them folks. When I talk about us going through, there was one kid went to just look for some directions, had to go to he a little Hebrew kid. Went to ask him some directions because he got lost because he was new in the neighborhood, more of an Anglo neighborhood. Knocked on the door. Somebody said, "Hey, do you know where the school is?" I'm just trying to. And some old white dude just was like, "Huh?" Went back and they grabbed his gun and started shooting at him. This happened not too long ago. I know. Right. So I'm talking to my Anglo.
What was it again?
What?
Say because I don't think the ones in the back heard you.
Oh, okay. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now?
Did y'all hear the story that you said right now?
Oh, okay, all right. So we're talking about the word. Do y'all even know the word we're talking about? That's read coon. We're talking about the word coon, Hebrew word coon. Age 35, 59. Right? Read out the definition. It's a whole lot. It's dealing with fasting, being upright, and all of that stuff, right? Then Elder said, man, it seems like the opposite of what the colloquial term that we use today is, right? And so I was talking about a situation where I had them Anglo folks at my job who did not know about a story where a little kid comes to the door early in the morning, or in the morning. He was just trying to go to school. He was new to the neighborhood. So he comes and he knocks on the door. Somebody thinks he's getting close. He knocks on the door to ask for some directions. Hey, am I close to the store or whatnot? And this old dude, this old heathen, looks at him. You know, he's like kind of sitting at the door, like just chilling. You see this all on video camera because he has a video, camera on his front door. And then he sees the guy go back, get a gun, shotgun. Then the boy says, "Oh snap!" Takes off. Little Hebrew boy takes off. And then, but the dude, you can see the dude on the camera shooting, and he's already off of the property. Oh my God. And then so I'm sitting up here telling this story, which you can easily Google and find the video to I want to call his name Nintendo, but anyway, and I was talking to him, and the first thing the dude, the Anglo, said was, "Well, I mean, we don't know the fullness of the situation." I said, "Oh, so now you have
what
the."
What do you need? What detail do you need?
It was mind blowing. I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, I'm glad that you're taking the time to actually think through this and find out what the situation, and not jump into no conclusions. That way, now going forward, I know that whenever you see something, you don't make any assumptions."
Yeah, but if it's the opposite now.
And he kind of just sat there and was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Yeah, you messing with the wrong one today, partner."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I was raised a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I can talk to you any kind of way, partner, if you want to. So, the service now administrator, I don't know what his name is, but yeah, I really don't care. Period, or whatever. So yeah.
There's a lot of things Edom is not gonna recognize until Yahuwah got his foot up there. That's how it is. Like, I don't try to break it down. Like,
right?
The Edomite is not genuinely asking questions. He just want to understand why.
Yeah.
And I give him this little taste, and he's just like, it's bitter to him. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You'll get it when the side's here with the foot ready to.
That's it. Oh, yeah. Because if it was flipped, it'd be a whole nother. You would know. Yeah. What's wrong with that guy? Like,
like what's wrong with him?
He said, "Man, we don't know the fullness of the situation. We don't know what he said to the man at the door." I was like, "Wow."
I mean, what can you say that would make
you show up and say, "I'm here to kill you"? Like, I mean, that would be the only thing.
The child didn't have any weapon.
No, he was just not gonna know how to backpack his ass.
What can you say?
That was it.
Really, like,
I'm here to
not deserve to die because, like, this doesn't make sense.
Mind blowing.
I can see he was there, taunting him or something, but he was running off.
He was running off. You see him on camera just chilling, asking, just had his hands like this, just asking. And then he takes off. He's oh snap! You can tell everything. It wasn't none of that happened. He never made a threatening gesture at all. No, it's just okay.
It just existed, man.
Common. Let's see. Let's go. I don't know how to say that word in Hebrew. Say it.
Sananakim, I think. Yeah.
That's what they can.
That's 2 Thessalonians.
Okay.
Alright. 3. Let me see. My style of my hand. Let me see. You ready? You ready, Emma?
Yeah.
You got this.
Listen good, because this is a good one right here. Shabazz, Jordan, everybody. Check this out.
Okay, so it says, "For even when we were with you as we command you, this we command you, that any would not work, neither should he eat. For we hear that there are some which walk on a disorderly worship, not at all, but are busybodies. Now them that are such, we command and exhort by our Adonai, Yeshua HaMashiach, that with quietness they work and eat their own bread. But ye, brethren, be not weary in well-doing. And if any man obey not our word by this sefer, note that man and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed. Yet count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a
Jordan, what's that mean? What she just read.
The whole verse.
Okay. Whatever stood out to you, brother.
That if any would not work, neither should he eat. So eating is a privilege. It's not for free. So you gotta earn it.
He said eating is not for free and it's a privilege. And you gotta earn it. I used to be with my cousins and my brother. And we would be riding around, and the motto was, if you don't work, you don't eat. And then he would say, if you don't grind, you don't shine. You know? And it was just something that stuck to me, though, was that if you're not working, you're not going to eat. And it's a lot of, it is a privilege. I agree with that. So, like, being a child in the household, I didn't know how privileged I was to be able to eat at the table.
No, they didn't know.
I didn't have no idea.
Most children
Go
have.
to the pantry to find food.
Yes.
Yeah.
None of them know. They don't
get frustrated and be like, who ate the last of the Frito pie? Like I cooked it.
Like you bought it.
Like it was mine. I specifically bought this for me. You know, didn't know how privileged I was. You know what I'm saying?
Just go to the refrigerator and there's food.
And that was it. That's my food. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't understand the privilege that we had. The Most High gives us privileges. You know what I'm saying? We don't understand that He gives us able bodies to be able to go and work. You know what I'm saying? Giving us that instead of not doing idle work, doing things that isn't going to contribute to the household, but doing stuff that's going to build up the house. That's what we're supposed to be doing. As men, it's what we're supposed to be doing. If we're going around and we're sitting around just chilling, talking about a bunch of nothing like a Friends episode, you ain't really doing nothing.
On the
What's your
post.
life about?
It's not doing
It says disorder. That means you out of order.
Yes, sir.
And a busybody. We just learned about that, the women being a busybody. They made a whole song about busybody.
Show enough they didn't make it. It'll work.
So, I mean, imagine a man being a busybody, because we're talking about a man, right?
Yeah.
So this is like, that's how it would definitely be disorderly, because that's not even supposed to be the characteristic of a man, to be a busybody, not working at all, just all over the place.
Over the place.
And everybody's business, over here, over there, just doing whatever, and not working, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing towards his household, nothing towards...
I'd even say nothing towards, you're absolutely correct, nothing towards a set out goal.
Yeah,
right?
nothing.
You got a goal, you're going to finish it for the day, but instead of finishing that goal, you do this.
Yep.
And then you go do that.
Yep.
And then you go do that. You do a little bit towards it, then you go do something else. And then you go do that. You're doing a whole bunch of other stuff versus getting the goal done today, which is going to get you that whatever it is, whatever goal you're trying to hit to accomplish getting some food on the table for your household. You feel me?
Yeah.
That should be like, I mean, as a man, that should be the goal almost every man. When you wake up, you hit that ground. For one, the enemy ought to be like, oh, snap, he's up, right? That ought to be the first thing. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, it's about making it happen for your family. You know what I'm saying? I represent my family when I hit this job. Every time they see me, I get up there. I'm early most of the time, earlier than everybody else. You feel me? I don't do that just for my. I don't do that just. I do that for my family. because I work hard for them. I do what we do for this family because I care about y'all. I ain't trying to get serious and all of that, but you know what I'm saying, like.
Now, the one thing that I seen is that they exhort by the Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach that with quietness they work and eat their bread, their own bread. This is the quietness part that gets me, because they're not doing it loudly when they work. Telling everybody what they're doing and how they're doing it and where they're getting it from. And they're eating their own bread, but ye brothers, be not weary in well doing. So don't get tired in doing well.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It may be hard, you know. It may be like, oh, you know, my boss don't see me doing this, or my Isha don't see me doing this, or my Yali don't see me doing this. But it's telling you, you know what I'm saying, this is what we're supposed to be doing as men. It's going to be times that you feel like that, but don't get weak in what you're doing. Don't lose faith in Yahuwah. Don't do that.
Because Yahuwah sees it.
That's why, yeah.
And he's the one who will reward you openly.
That's right.
For what you do in secret. So you don't have to like be out there. Yeah. Look at everything I'm doing.
Yeah. Nah, it ain't gonna be
That's what you're supposed to do. Like when somebody, I forget who it was, where a guy was like, you know, I take care of all of my children. You supposed to.
I pay my bills.
Like you was eating the standard or something. Yeah.
That's nothing. Another thing that I saw is the last one at the end is what I want to say like a little bit further back.
Yes.
Alright, so it says, after that, well doing. And if any man obey not the word by this sefer, note that man. What do you mean, note that man?
Mark him.
Mark him. Another situation.
Yeah.
Mark that man.
Mark that man. And have no company with him. That he may be ashamed. That he may be ashamed.
But to me, it looks like there's a space and a time for that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it just looks like that because people may take that as being like, all right, we ain't supposed to deal with him at all.
No.
That's what I'm so glad.
Time.
Yeah.
Because once he's ashamed, he will change.
Yeah.
And when he changes, then
there you go. You're right. And then the last one, Coach was saying is that's the one that gets you. It like kind of gives me goosebumps. Yeah, count him not as an enemy. See, there's people that would be like, that's my enemy. But count him not as an enemy, but admonish him. But admonish him as a brother. Admonish him as a brother. That's something that is hard. So we gotta be patient, right?
You said long suffering. Yeah.
Right?
But that's not the only fruit.
And that's the thing. And to make sure that you know that we ain't gonna count him as an enemy, because he's not out of the race.
That's right.
Only the Most High can say that.
Yeah.
Only the Most High can say that. That's it.
Right.
You're just saying don't be kicking it with him, because if you kick it with him, then that means that you're kicking it with him. He's busybody, you busybody.
Yeah.
So
that's
why it's telling you not to kick it with him. If you really read that in context, they're saying don't chill with him. Don't do that, because that's gonna make him think. And he's gonna think it's okay. He's gonna think what I'm doing is good. I mean, I ain't lost nothing. Like I still got the same friends. I still have the same people.
That he may be ashamed. If he's treated as usual, he's not gonna examine himself. He's not gonna be ashamed.
But he needs somebody to call on when he finally gets to that point of saying, you know what, I'm gonna actually do for myself. I'm actually not gonna turn. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. He needs somebody to reach out to, and you should be like, what you need now.
That's my brother.
That's what it should be.
Just for not working.
Yeah, just for not working.
Better sheets. Genesis 3:17 and 19. Let's get it.
And unto Adam he said, because you have hearkened unto the voice of your woman, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field, and in the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return unto the ground, for out of it where you were taken. For dust you are, and unto dust shall you return.
What color is dust? I'm joking.
Brown.
Of the ground.
As you see this, you see the Most High is telling us, you know, not to listen to women. That's what I hear.
That might drop.
That's it, close.
In closing, don't listen to a woman. Wow. And work. But don't listen to her.
The reason why, you know, as I read this, I understand because he chose not to listen to the Most High, and then also at that point he got cursed.
That's it.
That's what we saw. We saw this as the man where at the time he was just supposed to be looking. We were supposed to be in the garden, chilling, relaxing, literally.
Dominion, just chilling like a manager.
That's it. You supervisor. You know what I'm saying? Checking it out. Still growing. That's right. Yeah.
How you doing, Lane?
The ground is still coming.
Good.
Ain't gonna be nothing. But at that point now, we sweating. We got. It says that you have to have sweat on your face. How do you get that? I mean, besides like a P90X video, how else are you gonna get sweat out of your face?
Yeah, man.
Working the ground.
Working. Or
some level of work.
Some kind, right? Some kind of level of work, right? Don't matter. As long as you're bringing them shekels in, but you definitely got to do it 6 days out of the week. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Because at a day of rest, that literally is what it should be.
Yeah.
And at that point, you should be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
To sit back and watch what's going on in your household. And I'm only speaking from a man's standpoint right now. Because that right there is what we should be doing. As men. Alright? Alright, 1 Timothy 5:8. Kai, let me get you to read, please.
But if
85.
any provide
5:8, Okay, go ahead.
But if any man provides not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he has denied the belief and is worse than an infidel.
What's an infidel?
It's a cheater.
What's an infidel? You got a phone, don't you?
But you know, the Muslim call the Muslim call the ones that are not Muslim infidel.
Don't believe.
Because you don't believe in Allah, right?
That's right.
So infidel, I mean, he said he has denied the belief, and then you are worse than an infidel, so worse than somebody that doesn't even believe. But that's against the belief.
So that means you're believing and not doing what it is that you're supposed to be believing, so it makes you worse. Because you do know the knowledge and you're choosing to not provide.
Yeah, you need to provide. If you don't provide, you're worse than somebody that's like a non-believer. You're worse than a literal heathen.
Yes.
You're about to see that.
That's exactly what we should be doing. As men, we have to provide for our households. Like that's something that we grew up. It's traditionally known. It's spiritually known. It doesn't sit right in a man, especially for myself. If I know that I can't provide everything for my wife, like to me it does. You know what I'm saying? There's something that she wants, and she been talking about a car that she wanted with it was white with peanut butter inside. You know, I'm not gonna say the name of it, but it like irks me that even when I first heard her say it, and I can't provide that for her. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that I'm like, I want to get up to it. I'm gonna get up to it. Because the day that I surprise her with it would be the day that it's not gonna be like, oh, it's done, it's finished. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go ahead and, pass away now. But it'll be something to where I'm just like, that I'm trying to make sure that I'm at least providing at least the minimum, right? The most that I can for myself. It's not to say, oh, I gotta do everything. But I'm supposed to do what? Provide those three things.
Raiment, protection, and
shelter.
Raiment, protection, and benevolence.
This is literally image.
There's one next.
This is literally walking in the image of the Ruach, right? It says
Of the Ruach?
of Yahuwah.
Of Yahuwah. That's what I thought it was. Okay.
But if any man, but if any provides not for his own, right? And especially those for of his own house.
Right.
We're in the house of Israel, right? So he's showing us this is how you provide. We're told to walk in what? In the way of Yahusha, right? So this breaks all the way, this goes all the way back to the Old Testament.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But he's not just talking about, he's talking about, look how I provide for my house. This is how you provide for your house.
Yeah.
He gives us an example.
So not just the nucleus, but also those that are outside.
Yeah, you got the outside and you got some nucleus, but you do what you gotta do for the midst, right? And then yeah, definitely, especially for your own house.
Yes, sir. All right.
Kind of good stuff.
Get that.
We got a pistos, right? That's the word. There is no infidel in Hebrew, but what's what ended up coming up for this is the Greek. So we got G30 571 a pistos. Y'all probably heard of the word apostate. Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of I think Jehovah's Witnesses deal with that word. But anyway, if you're an apostate, that's how they look at you. They look at you as an infidel. Yeah. So we have from G1 as negative participle, G40 103, disbelieving without Christian faith, and we all know who the real Christians are. It is what it is. Especially a heathen, passively untrustworthy, an untrustworthy person, or incredible thing that believeth not, faithless, incredible thing, infidel, unbeliever, unbelievering. Yeah, unbeliever.
So you hit it right there, Coach, when you said about the Muslims and how they said that they're unbelieving in their faith. Right? It's the same thing. Yes. Exactly. Same thing. That's the crazy part.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's how they look at it too. They say call us infidel. But they got it from you already know.
Yeah, that's right. For them, it's nothing to kill them.
That's right.
No, it's not.
This is their faith. It's nothing to kill them because they are infidel. So.
I just read today, earlier, that at a school, one of the students of the university, I can't think of where, but the university, one of the girls said something about their prophet Muhammad. And the students themselves took that girl and stoned her and burned her to death. And all the school did, they're investigating it now, but they closed the school down indefinitely. I mean, they take it that seriously.
I'm not surprised. I mean, in France, it's happening all the time. Because most of y'all maybe don't know, but France is ruled by Muslims. Like Muslims beat the population by having children. French people, they don't have that many children. They have about 2 children. By Muslim, they have 7, 10. So by now, those generations are more than French people. And that's how they're getting over like the country or whatever. So they act like they follow the rules of the country, but they don't. Like they follow their faith. And in France, it's happening all the time. That they take girls, they burn them, they kill them like that, like in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
You know, especially if the girl dates a dude, if it's a Muslim girl and she dates a dude that is non-Muslim, the father and the brothers taking care of her.
Too.
Okay, so it's I'm not gonna say it's a normal thing, but me growing up over there, I heard it a lot. And even today, if you look at what's going on, all the terrorist attacks and everything that's happening in France, it's all because of that, because they are infidel.
Yeah, it's like that in London too, or England, some parts.
Yeah, in Europe they are a lot too. Yeah.
They have their own police departments.
Ishmael has no qualm.
My child's mother is Muslim, right?
Excuse me?
Yeah, my child in Germany, her mother's all of people are Muslim, right? Syrian Muslim.
Okay.
And so at the time I was Christian, when she found out that she was pregnant, it was like the look on her face was just like
Terror. After terror.
Like what am I gonna do? First of all, you're unmarried and you're having a child by a Christian. You know what I'm saying? But they're a little bit more westernized, but so that was okay, and I had to ignore parents and stuff like that. So that turned out to be okay, but yeah, a lot of instances that's not gonna fly. So that's absolutely right what she's saying.
Yeah, sepulchre basically. You're supposed to have sepulchre.
Yeah, we can do that.
Now I have a topic about it.
Alright, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut this short. It's gonna be, cause I got like a lot more slides after this. So I'm just gonna cut it short and we'll do like a part 2 next Shabbat. I'm sorry that it took so long.
Man, stop.
I'm trying to show my humility and also,
yeah.
you know, just making sure that I'm accountable.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We'll see y'all next Shabbat. Shalom.